My name is Teresa Rothausen-Vange, and I'm a professor of management in the Opus College of Business at the University of St. Thomas, and I'm the holder of the Susan E. Heckler Endowed Chair in Business Administration. When you think about the sources of leadership, or what creates a good leader, it's a fascinating question, and one that has puzzled philosophers and psychologists and sociologists for thousands of years, actually. And we still haven't solved the puzzle entirely. There's no one magic bullet or silver bullet of leadership necessarily, but there are a number of qualities and skills that have been shown to be related to people who can have an impact through their influence on others, which really is what leadership is about. Some of the traits and qualities that have been shown to be related to leadership are things like intelligence, integrity, emotional maturity, charisma, and those kinds of things. Some of that is innate, and some of it can be learned. The Leader Development Lab is really based, it's an evidence-based lab where students experiment with their leadership. They work with lab partners or peer coaches to figure out what it is that they can bring to bear to leadership. What's going to be the most effective way for them to lead in an organization? And what do they want to lead toward? What do they care about? What are their values? This is an aside, but there's one model that shows that leadership skills kind of come in these three buckets. One bucket is technical skills, and then there's another bucket of conceptual or strategic skills, and then there's another bucket of interpersonal skills. And at St. Thomas, we really believe there's a fourth bucket that often doesn't make its way into those mainstream models, but it's really important to us, which is knowing your values and knowing why you're leading, knowing what kind of difference you want to make in the world. And so the Leader Development Lab is based on those four buckets of skills and using those to try to customize that to each individual person and how they want to lead, where they want to lead, why they want to lead, etc. And it's based on evidence that suggests that most leadership development happens through experiences. So it's about designing experiments and experiences in leadership for the students who then go out and do that experiment. So they try to have an impact through their influence on other people. They see what works, what didn't work, and they work with a peer coach and myself and some other exercises in the lab to try to figure out what worked, what didn't work, and how they can build on that. One thing we do in leader development at St. Thomas that I think is relatively unique is we focus most of the leader development activities on actual experiences leading. So we encourage students to think about themselves, who they are, what they want to achieve, why they want to lead, and then to intentionally choose experiences that will help them develop the things that they really need to develop in order to be impactful in their influence on others, to have an impact for an organization. And so in the lab, what they'll do is working with lab partners, they will select experiences that they think will help them develop these skills. Then they'll go out and actually lead, and they'll come back in to process that. What did I learn from that? What could I have done better? What didn't work for me? Maybe I saw somebody else use it, but it just doesn't work for me. I need to find another way to touch people in this situation to have my influence that I want to have. So that's a big piece of it. The other piece of it, I would say, in addition to learning through actual experiences leading, is self-awareness. Who am I? What are my particular strengths? And where's that set of skills that intersects with what makes a good leader and my particular strengths, my values, and those kinds of things. So we spend a lot of time thinking about that and working with those skills and activities to sharpen them, to make them stronger. In business, as in other areas of society, people do expect certain things from women and certain things from men. One fascinating research study that I love to teach in my classes is a study that showed that if you present a resume of a leader with only the name changed, so it goes from Larry to Linda or Linda to Larry, the evaluation of that person as a potential leader changes without changing any of the qualifications. And I think that right there shows that there's a perceptual filter that comes over. And so there's a lot of discussion in the media about how certain questions get asked of female leaders across our society and certainly in business. Things like what's happening with her family while she's doing this. Things like how much did she spend on that wardrobe? Those kinds of things that don't necessarily get asked of men. Those are kind of trivial things, but sometimes they're more substantive things. Can she handle the pressure? When, again, a question like that from a male leader with equal credentials doesn't get asked. So there certainly are things still existing like that are subconscious. Nobody goes out and says, I don't think women can lead. There are a few people that still do that. But generally speaking, no. But these are subconscious biases that we're raised with from the time we're tiny tots. And they impact how we view kind of the ideal leader, the person what we think a leader should look like. The University of St. Thomas, ahead of the curve.